briefly about the Senate race. Here's the question that I guarantee you somebody wants to ask and is just like not 100% sure that it's polite. So let me just ask it. You seem swell, but so does Adam Schiff, and I like Barbara Lee, and now what do I do about that? They feel like they can't ask us that. That's literally my job, is to answer that question. So you should feel free to raise your hand and ask every single candidate who's coming here asking for your time or money or vote that question. So let me tell you what I think I uniquely bring to this race. We are shopping for a policy warrior who's going to fight to do the things that we simply, decade after decade after decade, fail to do. Invest in childcare. Every decade we talk about this, and every decade it just never quite gets to the top of the priority list. Bring down the cost of housing. The last time the federal government made a big investment in private market housing was the GI Bill. And think about how transformative that was for an entire generation, and how much of a pickle we find ourselves in now, having ignored it. So I'm going to be that policy warrior, but the thing I think that makes me stand out even more is the political leader that we need to be shopping for. I have knocked hundreds of doors in Huntington Beach, and I am still having fun in politics. That is important. We are a big blue state when you look at a state, but when you zoom in at all, everywhere you look, you see school boards, water districts, county supervisors, assembly races, and the congressional seats that we have to win back the House are here in California. I know how to win tough races. I know what it takes, I know how to message, and I know how to do it without ever waffling, without ever wobbling on my progressive values. We need that political leadership. We have people who are retiring who have been with us for generations. We have people who will retire, perhaps, who have been with us for generations. This is our moment to think about who's going to help us be the standard bearer for our party. Who knows how to pull in those independent voters, those no party preference voters? Who knows how to pull in younger voters? The Democratic definition today of a younger voter is a voter not on Medicare. And you laugh, and yet that's true. When we say Joe Biden has a problem, President Biden, I'm a big fan of, and I hope you'll ask me what I'm a fan of later. But when we say he has a problem with younger voters, I need you to understand, we mean voters under 65. We don't mean 19-year-olds, okay? So how are we gonna get there? My colleague, Adam Schiff's main message has the great virtue of being 100% true. Donald Trump sucks. I mean, I'm being gentle there, as how I'm phrasing that. Adam is absolutely right about that, and he deserves credit for saying it, and saying it in the ways and the forums that he did. But that message is not going to help us win votes today. If you haven't figured out by this election that Donald Trump sucks, we are not going to persuade you this time. Our path to victory is to grow the pie, to grow the electorate, to turn out people consistently. These voters who showed up because they couldn't stomach Trump, are they going to show up for us in 2026 and 2028 and 2030 when Trump is hopefully behind bars? Not if we don't work on it, not if we don't have a message, not if we don't have a way to engage them. And when you look at the polling at this race, when you look at who's excited, this is where I think I can make a big contribution to California and to our party. I am really proud to win young people, the youngest group of voters, the 19 to 27-year-olds, I win by 22 points over Adam Schiff. And the reason that's important to me is this is a ginormous, and I say this to you as a mother of some of these people, pushy, jaded generation. They have so much that they want and that they need and that they hope for, and they are so convinced that Washington cannot change. And there is no part of Washington, well, maybe the Supreme Court, but it would be a tie, that needs to be shaken up more than the United States Senate. It was just a decade ago that we thought about the Senate as the last bastion where people showed political courage, a place where people stood up and voted for civil rights, even when it was hard, for example. Now, this is a Senate where good ideas go to die. Gun violence prevention, the PRO Act on unions, the Equality Act on LGBTQ, All of these things went to die in the Senate. So it is about shaking up the Senate, it is about reinvigorating it, and it is about lifting up California's role and California's needs in the United States government.